Today we're going to cover swing trading. We're going to go over swing trading. We're going to identify swing trading opportunities in the Forex market. We're going to do this applying our core supply and demand strategy. Same concept as doing this for short-term trading. Okay. Right. We're just, again, looking for, I would just say that doing it this way maybe it's just a little less complicated, because when you're short-term trading, yes, you have to find your levels and turning points in the small time frames, but you also need to know where you're at on the larger time frame supply and demand curve. When you're when you're long-term trading, swing and position trading, you don't need to look at those small time frames. So it just eliminates that kind of extra element, extra work. That's all. Okay? So let's look at the big time frames and identify where banks and institutions are sitting with buy and sell orders. Let's start with the euro. Actually, before we do that, let's look at the dollar. We always look at the dollar first. Let's do that here. Okay. So as you know, we've been looking at this dollar chart for quite a while. We've had this level up here for many FXStreet sessions. We've finally come pretty close to this level. We've actually almost touched it. Some people might put their line down here. I'm just putting it up here just to be a little on the conservative side. So there is a little bit of room for the dollar to rally, but we do have some supply up here, which should cause the equity index markets and some of the major currencies to bounce a little bit, like the euro's doing here today. The euro bounce today should not be a surprise to anyone with the dollar up near supply. Hopefully you have these levels on your charts. Okay. So knowing where that level is, now we come down to the euro. Let's start with the weekly chart. So as you know, we've been focused on this weekly supply level here for quite a long time. We reached it, and obviously we're falling off that level nicely, so great job if anyone's in this position. But where's the nearest larger time frame area of supply that we see on this time frame? It's going to be right down here. So let's put that in. This will show us that we've got quite a bit of room according to this time frame. Now when we come down to the daily, the picture's going to be a little bit different. That's why we look at these multiple time frames to figure out the real supply and demand equation. I would say as far as initiating a short position, I see someone's asking a question there, your dollar question. As far as initiating a short position, yes, I would prefer to do it at the upper level. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, you got a nice euro long yesterday on the 5-minute. Great. So that combined with the dollar hitting supply, now were you watching the dollar? Because that obviously helps stack the odds in your favor. Nice job with that. Okay. So if we look at the daily, so that's what we have on the weekly. Pretty clear. And I would argue that the supply not only is pretty strong, I do not see the euro going significantly higher anytime soon, because now not only do we have evidence that there's pretty strong supply up here because we just touched this and fell, but now we've got some new supply sitting just below it, right? Okay. There's plenty of room for more of a euro bounce, but I'm talking big picture. Okay. When we come down to the daily chart, we see that sitting just below, we do have a cluster of activity down here, and this is not seen on the weekly chart. Okay, so I'm going to put this level right there. Draw a line there. And put a line there. Okay. So this area right here on the daily is right inside this on the weekly. Make sense? Okay. So we've got this area down here. Watch for that. I would not initiate a big long position off this level, just to be honest with you. I'd wait for prices to come down a little bit more. Okay. So we're kind of right in the middle of the larger time frame supply-demand curve. That gives us quite a bit of information. That means as far as initiating a longer-term position, now's probably not the time to do that. As far as short-term trading, our location here on the larger time frame supply-demand curve, which we've done on the daily or the weekly, tells us that we can be a buyer and a seller. Okay. Will, nice, good question there. Will the euro likely break this supply level because of the one touch? Not likely, no. Notice prices barely traded into this level and then, fell away from this level, and we have a new level sitting just below it. So that's suggesting there's quite a bit of supply up there. Not a whole lot of fresh demand anywhere close. So I wouldn't worry about that. Could something happen? The black swan, I guess it could, but hardly ever does. So, what the chart suggests is going to happen almost always does happen. Okay. Yeah, so when I say buyer and seller, I mean in the smaller time frames, not in the bigger time frames. I'm saying our location on the larger time frame supply-demand curve tells us that as a short-term trader, we can buy at fresh demand levels on small time frames and sell at fresh supply levels on small time frames. That's what I meant by that. All right, the chart I do want to draw your eye to, though, is this 30-minute chart here. Let me blow this up a little bit. Okay. Yeah, there's really not a lot of fresh supply. The level I was going to point your eye to, it's going to look far away on this time frame, but it's really not that far. I'm going to point your eye to this area here. Okay. Remember, this is a swing and position trading session. Okay. So that 128.80 and higher, there's not a whole lot to stop prices from rallying up to that level on anything on the 30-minute chart or higher or above. All right. So that's what we have on the, as far as the swing trading side of things goes.